When we got there, we found multiple gunshot wounds to the victim, and 14 shell casings were found in the street nearby. The jogger was in this area right in here around 6:30. This road leads all the way down to the waterfront in Yorktown, and as he was running in this direction, he observed a body approximately 10 feet off the road into the woods. When we got there, we found multiple gunshot wounds to the victim, and 14 shell casings were found in the street nearby. They all belonged to a gang affiliated with the Madstone Bloods out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Yo, yo, yo! What's up, people? We is back. Another day on Keep It G News. So, by now, you got an idea what we dealing with. We're dealing with a murder of a woman, and it's out of Virginia, Richmond or Norfolk, Virginia, somewhere along that lines. And I want to send my condolences to the family and say rest in peace to this young woman, because she was young, 25 years old, man. It's always tragic to see someone lose their life at such a young age. You understand? But in this situation, it's unique because this situation is involving gangs. And y'all know the saying in these gangs, it's only one way out. Or sometimes it might be two ways out, either a grave or a casket. But in this situation, when we're dealing with Tyosha Mitchell and her case, it was only one way out. And in this video, I'm going to show y'all what happened to her. And I'm also going to go into this gang, because I never heard of them before. So once I seen the video, I'm ready to play for y'all. I got the one like, who is this gang? Where are they based out of? And we're going to find that out in this video. So I'm not going to keep talking. We're going to figure out what happened to Tyosha Mitchell right now.
New tonight, we're learning more about the Richmond mother found murdered in York County. Court records say 25-year-old Tyosha Mitchell was a high-ranking member of a gang out of Norfolk. And the 4 suspects arrested in this case also belong to the group. Ann Sparacco tells us why investigators believe the group tried to beat her out of the gang.
It's a murder investigation spanning from Richmond to Hampton Roads, and now new court documents are shedding light on what investigators say happened to 25-year-old Tyosha Mitchell. Investigators arrested Jaquan Jones, Jamaica Langley, Hezekiah Carney, and Acacia Jackson after someone found the Richmond mother of 2 shot several times on the side of Old Williamsburg Road in Yorktown. In the latest arrest warrants, detectives say text messages between Mitchell and the 4 suspects revealed the group as the Vietnam Baby Guerrilla Gang of the Madstone Bloods gang tied to Norfolk. They went on to say the messages signaled Mitchell as the highest-ranking female gang member. Mitchell's boyfriend told investigators 3 women and a man assaulted Mitchell at her Richmond apartment shortly after midnight on May 6, saying they tried beating her out of the gang, meaning she would no longer be a member. Her boyfriend said the 3 women and 2 men showed up a little later with a gun and took Mitchell away from her home. He said that's when he crawled out of Mitchell's window to escape the group and called 911 when he saw them drive away in a car. It only took a few hours for detectives to find Mitchell's body miles away.
Now, the 2 men and 2 women face second-degree murder charges and conspiracy. York County investigators say more people could face charges in this case. In York County, I'm Ann Sparacco for 13 News Now.
In the documents, Mitchell's boyfriend told police he believed the attack started out over Mitchell's relationship with one of the women's partners.
So Tyosha Mitchell went to this gang who she was a part of for X amount of years and wanted out. You know, she wanted out, man. She was tired of the gang life, and I think everybody gets to that point, you know, because a lot of times you join them gangs, you join them when you preteen age, and, you know, you're relatively young, and you really don't understand what you're getting yourself into, and I believe that the gangs prey on that. They prey on the young and usually the ones that's kind of distant from their family or don't have a lot of family at all, so they seek these gangs for comfort, for protection, for love, even some in most cases. So I don't blame them. But like I said, it comes a time when you want to get away. And I completely understand that. But like I told y'all, I thought about who is this gang. I never heard of the Madstone Bloods. So I looked into where are they based out of? Where did they come from?
T. Rogers has been linked to the West Coast Black P-Stones for over 50 years. Known as the man who founded the Los Angeles Blood Gang. But what most people get wrong when bringing up the name T. Rogers is that a blood gang is not what he intended to create. What he wanted was an organization with rules, regulations, and a street code. But as time went on and new generations stopped following the codes that were set in place, his organization changed. So T. Rogers changed too. T. Rogers was born on December 12, 1956. His early childhood years were spent on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. In the 1960s, Southside Chicago was considered one of the most dangerous areas in the city. Widespread unemployment and poverty had destroyed what used to be middle-class neighborhoods, and gangs took over streets and communities. T. Rogers learned about the streets at 7 years old, taught by older kids from his neighborhood, and by the age of 9, he was a member of Chicago's Black Stone Rangers. Formed in the late 1950s by teenagers Jeff Fort and Eugene Harrison, the Black Stone Rangers started out as a group of young men wanting to protect themselves from gangs on Chicago's South Side. But the Black Stone Rangers didn't consider themselves a gang. They were a community organization. There was a president, a vice president, even a spiritual advisor. But over time, as membership grew, the Black Stone Rangers evolved into more of a gang than a community organization. The Rangers' influence spread to other gangs on the South Side, who eventually joined them. And together, they became known as the Ranger Nation. And by the late 1960s, the Ranger Nation had become Black Keystone Nation, ran by different gang leaders called the Main 21. The Main 21 is who gave 13-year-old T. Rogers permission to start a Black Keystone Nation set in Los Angeles, California. T. Rogers and his family moved to Los Angeles, California in 1969, moving into the LA neighborhood known as the Jungle. Nicknamed the Jungle in the 1950s because of the area's tropical trees and landscaping, the Jungle was once an exclusive Black middle-class neighborhood. But this exclusive neighborhood was not new to gangs. The Jungle Boys had been claiming the jungle as their territory for years before T. Rogers got there. But with T. Rogers' arrival came the Black Keystone Nation. The change from the Jungle Boys to the Black Keystone Nation didn't happen overnight. It started with T. Rogers meeting other kids from the neighborhood. He started sharing with them the knowledge and philosophy of the Black Keystones and began recruiting them to become members of the Stones Nation. While attending Dorsey High School, T. Rogers recruited more members. Then those members recruited members. And within a few years, the West Coast Black Keystone Nation had numbers in the hundreds. They also became blood affiliated.
I tell y'all, them gangs is a motherfucker. My advice to the youth is stay away from them, man. Straight up, y'all. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Now, I know in certain environments it's hard. You know, especially when gangs is basically in control of these neighborhoods. But if that's not the case and you join it for some type of protection and, you know, you think it's cool, man, stay away from them, man. So, the baby G-Stones is actually a subdivision of the Keystone Nations, and it started in Chicago and moved to California now. And Tyosha Mitchell, in her case, she wanted to get away, yo, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. Yo, everybody get to a point in life when they just had enough of the street activity, you feel me? Now, sometimes people get in too deep, and these gangs don't let you separate because they don't know what you know or what you're going to do with the information that you know. And a lot of times that end in murder. Now, they beat her out, supposedly. 31-second beatdown. Now, that's normally how you get in. They gave her that option to get out. But somewhere along the lines, they rescinded the offer. It might have went up in rankings and whoever made the call said, look, she got to go. And that's why it's a dirty game, yo. And stay away from it, yo, when you don't have to be involved in it. I mean, this woman lost her life, yo. And it looked like to me, because I went through her Facebook page and I wanted to figure out when was she praising the gang versus when she decided, you know what, I don't want to live like this no more. I want to do things different. Now, Went back a couple months on the page, and I couldn't find when she was praising him, but I can say within the last maybe 6 months, she had a change of heart. And she started posting more positive messages. You know, she wanted to be soft. She don't want to hang around the gang. You know, put things like that. She wanted to live a normal life and raise her daughter. She had a newborn baby, maybe probably 2 years old now. Now, I ain't going to post the kids. But I can say that recently she have had a child, and maybe that was the change of heart. Maybe she met someone who she thought, you know, more of. You know, somebody that fulfilled what she thought at a point in time in her life the gang fulfilled. But they don't let you separate, man. Now he's saying that after the beatdown, they went to her house and basically drug her out, and the boyfriend allowed it. Now, me in that situation, y'all, I'm not allowing no man, woman, or anybody forcibly with a gun take my girl away from my household. Hell no, especially if we got kids. That's not happening. We'd all died together. Now, I'm not going to get on him because I don't know, the way he think, his mentality. I don't know how he felt in that situation. I mean, he did call the police, and his reasoning for it, he said she think that Tyosha Mitchell was dealing with the female gang members' boyfriend. That could be the case, man, but I don't know. I just want to deal with the facts that we have, yo. And it's always tragic when you grow up and you get caught in that environment. Because like I told y'all, the gangs prey on the young, weak. People can hate it or love it. That's the reality of it. They prey on these kids, man, that don't really have a stable home environment. And they give them something that's lacking. You feel me? That's normally what make people stray into gangs and get caught up in gang activity. But, like I say, yo, it's only one way out this, yo. Sometimes two. Now, in this situation, it was only one way out. She wanted out, they gave her out. Just not what she wanted, yo. And it's sad, tragic, unfortunate, but this is the gang life, yo. That's why I say to people, get away from it. Don't get involved in it, man, because even though there are cases where I seen people stray away from the gang and the gang was cool with it. But then you got these cases, man. It's like to me they got pics where a person went out and they don't give them out. Or they give them out but just not the out that they wanted. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments, man. This is story Tyosha Mitchell out of Virginia. Sad, tragic. I want to say rest in peace to that woman. Condolences to her family and stay the gangs. And I'm out.
I need some praying, people feel like I'm stuck. It's seeping deep, but don't be smoking shit that you ain't roll up. I'm trying to teach you. Niggas singing up their nose on the low and think I don't know it. Mama lying for my bro, cause we wrong and think I don't know it. If it was get it poppin' time on the grind and I jailed on you, God please take my breath from my body, I fell bro. I've been in every war, holding every shield, swinging every sword. I stood and never ran. Why would you lie and try to steal my glory? Put that on my stripes, I ain't never back down or folded up in my life. I've been thugging like this, I've been thugging like this, I've been thugging like this, I've been thugging like. If I'm lying, God take my sight, never let a bro starve in my life. I've been thugging like this, I've been thugging like this, I've been thugging like this, I've been thugging like.